Hey, Dr. Osborne here with Dream Practice in Market Functional Medicine. Today I want to talk a little bit in this is a two-part series on why you should stay in constant contact and communication with your client base, with your email list. So let's just dive right in, right? So step one, what we really want to try to do in this is establish our expert status and trust. So when you communicate on a regular basis with your audience, you form a relationship, and in that relationship, if your advice is sound and good and it helps them, then you're building trust, but you're also building authority, because as you give advice, they start following advice, they look to you as the go-to, as the authority on that particular topic. So it's very, very important in order to establish that authority, in order to establish that trust. You can't email once a week, you can't email once a month, you can't send out a monthly newsletter. It's got to be done on a much more consistent level. People are looking to you as the expert, and if you show up in their inbox every once in a while, that relationship never really has an opportunity to blossom. So again, you want to stay in really relative constant contact with them. My advice is you should be at least emailing or creating content that goes out at least twice a week, and preferably even more if you've got the time in your schedule. But very important, if you're going to establish a relationship, create authority and create a trust factor with your patients. Number two, we want to continually email as a result of creating a branding factor. So, if you look at companies like Coca-Cola, you can just see the shape of their bottle and you know the company. That's how well they've done their branding. You can see the Nike swoosh symbol and you don't need to see the words Nike. It's embedded in your mind because over the years they've branded themselves so well, people know their logos, they know their icons. Well, you should have this, and if you followed me for any length of time, you've heard me talk about creating your niche, creating your mission and your mission values, and creating kind of your logo and icon as part of like first steps to marketing your practice. So at this point, you should have that information, and part of your communication is that constant branding. You're putting your logo, you're putting your brand in front of people on a consistent enough basis so that it becomes kind of a household in their brain, right? A household logo that any time they see your colors, anytime they see your logo, they think of health, they think of wellness, they think of you as the authority. So again, part of this is positioning and branding. Remember, if you're trying to grow your practice, you're in business. And if you're trying to grow your business, branding is a critical element to being able to accomplish that. So branding, a very important aspect of why we need to stay in constant contact or communication with our audience. Number three on the list is something called reciprocal purchasing. Now, there's a psychological component to this. The more information you give, the more value you give, the more you help people, in their mind, you're building up a gratitude bank account. That's what reciprocal purchasing is about. Now, not that you're doing this because you are. You're doing it because you're trying to earn a living and make money. Let's make no qualms about that. If you're not trying to make money in your business, then you need to open up a free clinic and just establish a free clinic somewhere. But if you're really trying to help people across the world, you've got to brand yourself, but you've got to be in it for the right reasons. And part of this is you're in it to make money. I'll just say it the way it is. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean that that's the only reason that you're in it. So when you give great information, my original mentor always told me the more good and value you put into the world, the more good and value will come back to you. And so this is part of what reciprocal purchasing does. From a psychological perspective, the more value you give your clientele, the more gratitude bank account's going to build up in their mind, so that if there is something they can purchase from you, whether that's an appointment in your office or whether you're offering the sale of your supplement products online, the likelihood that you're going to increase your revenue as a result of that gratitude bank account that you've been building up with your clients and patients is much more likely to happen for you. So again, if you're in constant communication, if you're constantly delivering value to your tribe, then you'll also be able to put things in front of them that they will purchase, and that will increase your bottom line as well. And remember, we want to take care of them, but we also want our own families to be taken care of. So that building value component through reciprocal purchasing is very, very important, and one of the reasons why we want to communicate often. Okay, number 4 on the list is it creates deep connection, deep appreciation. So this kind of goes back to what I just talked about with creating a reciprocal mindset in your patients. But The deep appreciation that they come to feel for you when you offer up advice that no other doctor is taking the time to put in front of them, right? You take the time, every week, we do a show every week. This is part of, I practice what I preach, and I try to bring that from our actual practice, in the trenches to you so that you can apply this information. So you get to learn from our experiences. But if you are creating value on a consistent, regular basis, it will create a deep appreciation, and that deep appreciation will turn into trust. That deep appreciation will turn into, and it will foster into a relationship. Again, it serves your community to deliver value consistently. If you every once in a while come out with some small bit of information that's something that they already knew about or something that they already knew, you won't really develop that deep appreciation. But example, when we put our show out every Monday, we have deep appreciation. We have followers that are waiting 20 minutes before the show starts, and they're already chiming in, talking about how much they appreciate what we do, how much they appreciate the time and the effort and the resources that we put into creating wonderful content on a weekly basis. So that deep appreciation goes a long way. It goes a long way to helping people, but also it goes a long way to helping build your business. Number 5, it creates a scenario of ongoing support, right? People need their hand held as it relates to health a lot of times. And so it's not just a matter of them reading a blog and then magically getting healthy. A lot of times it's reading that blog today or watching that video today and then seeing that next video 2 days from now or that next video 3 days from now. It's a hand-holding, step-by-step process for them. Each step along the way, each time that you deliver content, again, you're giving them ongoing support as opposed to giving them small pieces of information that generally lead to more questions. It's kind of like this. If you read an article and it's not an in-depth article, but it's a general summary of a particular topic, you generally, if you're interested in that topic, you want to do a deeper dive, right? Well, you providing more and more consistent information to your audience is that deeper dive that provides ongoing support, that keeps them in front of you, that keeps you in front of them. And again, that's what we're after. It's going to create a kind of a snowball effect. Everything we're talking about in this video today, the branding, the know, like, and trust, the building the expert status and the authority, like all those things happen as a result of giving and providing ongoing support instead of just one-off emails here and there when you have time to squeak it in. Really think about this. If you're in this for the right reasons, if you're in this business, if you're in the business of healthcare for the right reason, you will make the time in your schedule to create consistent content because it's part of your job and it's part of how we in functional medicine can create a brand and build a business and stay abreast of what it takes. It's what it takes to be successful in this world. You don't just get to open up your doors and people magically find you and come in and believe everything that you say. You've got to create all of these steps that we're talking about in this video if you really want to have great success. Okay, one of the other reasons we want to do it is being top of mind. Again, the more you're on their mind when they're thinking about their health, the more you're in their head, right? If they're reaching toward that, let's just say chocolate milk in the refrigerator, but they watched a video from you this week maybe about how, the sugar in the milks is a bad idea, then you're going to potentially prevent them from making mistakes more. They're going to still make mistakes, but if you can interject and get in their mind, right, and be in their head when they're trying to make decisions about health, then chances are, more times than not, you might head them off from making a really terrible decision that they were going to otherwise make. And the reason why is you're top of mind. Again, you're creating enough content and enough value in their world that they keep coming back for that information. And the more you give them, the more they use, the better they feel, the more they tell other people about you, the more that happens, the more you grow your practice and your business. So remember, these are very, very key, important, fundamental factors that you want to dive into. So that's part 1. In part 2, we'll talk about some additional strategies on how to create content for your audience. So thanks for tuning in. And as always, wishing you excellent success. We'll see you in the next video.